Hubert McIntosh is a member of the Society for Financial Awareness, and he's the man.
Financial literacy provided by Hubert McIntosh,
CPA.
Financial literacy. Control your financial status.
Here's your host, Hubert McIntosh, CPA.
Good evening, good Sunday evening to you. Thank you for joining us. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA and a member of SOFA. SOFA is the Society for Financial Awareness with one mission: to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America, one community at a time. And we have started with this community. So I thank you for joining us. It's Sunday evening and we are in school. Yes, it's Sunday school at night. So I encourage you, get your pen, get your paper. We have some very interesting things to share with you tonight. Well, we always do, but tonight is... tonight is tonight. And tonight is more exciting than last week because we're here tonight. So I thank you for joining us. The topic we're going to cover tonight is Roth IRA for you. The last few weeks we have gone through and we were comparing the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA, and then we compare the Roth IRA to the life insurance, and last week we dived into cash value life insurance. And remember something from what I said last week regarding the cash value life insurance. One of the key components, not one of, the key components of cash value life insurance is that you have to be qualified, medically qualified. So with that being said, everyone is not qualified. So let's put that to rest. Yes, it's good, but if someone is not qualified for it, then why beat it and try to tell that person about it? It may be beneficial that they'll know it for their family or friends. But the Roth IRA, we're going to deal with the Roth IRA as the Roth IRA most Americans are qualified for the Roth IRA. If your income level is too high, then you may not be. I don't remember the break off, but for a single person, maybe somewhere about $110,000. Married couple, maybe 190,000 there. So somewhere there. So if you look at it as an individual, if you use $100,000 as a benchmark, an individual making more than $100,000 more than likely will not qualify for a Roth IRA. And a married couple making over $200,000 together will not qualify for a Roth IRA. So I just want to lay the foundation of that. So thank you for joining us. We are in the studio. The phone lines in the studio are open. 954-792-1170. You're welcome to call us in the studio with any questions, any concerns, anything on your mind regarding that. We're here to address that. We're in the studio Sunday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. But you have 24/7 access to me. Yes, you do. You can call me at 754-366-7311. 754-366-7311. But just be aware, if I'm sleeping, I won't be able to answer at that time. But I'll get the message, and I promise you, I will call you back within 24 to 48 hours. That's my promise to you on the phone. But you also have further access to it. You can email us, support@financialliteracy.info. support@financialliteracy.info. You can visit us on the web, financialliteracy.info. financialliteracy.info. We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter page. Yes, we accept. You can tweet us. We will tweet you back. You can like us on Facebook. You can make your comments. we will respond to you. Like us, and it will help others to get to know us, so that please don't keep us a secret. Don't keep us a secret, because as I said, our goal along with SOFA is to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America. 2 years ago, FINRA did the study and it was at 74%. And I know it has not gone down, it has gone up. So if we want to estimate 80% of Americans are financial illiterate. Wow, that's scary. Someone this week shared an article with me in Canada. Canada Department of Education has just released something that they are now teaching. They're planning, it has not been implemented yet, to teach financial literacy in high school starting in grade 10. And the person says, well, why don't they start it earlier? And I said, listen, if they started it grade 10, I am happy. Yes, they could have started earlier, but they are starting in grade 10. That's a great news. And I am hoping that America will be able to follow suit. I am not aware of any other country that is teaching high school children financial literacy. So I believe that Canada is taking the lead there, and I celebrate Canada. I celebrate Canadians to be taking that lead. In the Jamaican community, we are very attached to Canada. There are a lot of immigrants from Jamaica who has gone to Canada, and you have first generation Canadians and you have second generations. I have quite a few clients who are second generations Canadian, in the sense that their parents went to Canada and they were born in Canada. So they're Canadians, but they're Jamaican Canadians, or Canadian Jamaican, whichever way you want to call it. But I celebrate them, and I celebrate Canada for taking that lead, and I hope the US will follow suit there. So that's one exciting news I want to share with you. So I want to remind you, as we get ready to go into is Roth IRA for you. Remember the principle of this program. When we started back in January, and January 1st, in fact, remember the story we shared with you. We shared the story with the train, that life is like a train journey, in the sense that we get on that train at birth, but we did not buy our tickets. Our parents bought our tickets to get on that train, because it's a journey. But here's the thing. When that train ticket was bought, we don't know, or our parents didn't know the destination. We just know that we were going on a journey, but we did not know the destination, in the sense that people gonna get off at different stop on the train. So if we're using the stops on the train as ages, then let's use that. Some people gonna get off the train at age 30, some gonna get off at age 40, some gonna get off at age 50. And that in itself, in that where you're saying, oh my gosh, so one person get off at 30, they get off at 40. Oh my gosh, their life was short-lived. Because it said that, well, the average age should be 70 years old, 70. But guess what has been happening? And you guys know this because this has been happening in the news. People are growing older. Yes, that is exciting in one sense, and it's fearful in another. So you may say, oh my gosh, why is it fearful in another? If it's exciting, how can it be exciting and fearful at the same time? Yes, it is, because here is someone living a long life. You're living a long life that you can enjoy it more individually, with your family, with your friends, with your children. You have a longer time to enjoy life. But let's deal with the elephant in the room. The longer you live, you also need more money. Yes. You come on. This is a financial literacy show. You think I wasn't going to mention money? Yes. You're going to need more money. So if someone is planning to live until 80 years old, wow. So they reach 80 years old. They reach 80 years old. Their money is finished. They're still alive. Do you see the challenge? Last week we just pointed out to you where as Jamaicans we are happy to be celebrating now, because this Jamaican lady is now the oldest person in the world. She's 117 years old. So there are two things you're looking at when someone gets that old. Yes, it's exciting that mama and grandma and auntie lives that long. Yes. But let's face it, let's be real with ourselves. Is it that exciting when grandma don't have any money? Imagine now, this lady at 170, she has 6 kids. One of her kids died 2 weeks before she turned 170. He died 2 weeks. He died at 92. So it would be all well and good if all these children were able to take care of mama or grandma in this case. But as you know, and as we all know, is that a fact? Yes, we would love for it to be a fact, but if we're facing reality, it's not a it's not a fact. Because a lot of people, due to financial illiteracy or for whatever reasons, did not prepare to live that long, and the finance did not stretch that much. But what we are hoping in this show is that none of you will fall into that, because we're talking about this and we're helping you to develop a personal economic model. Remember, each person has to have a personal economic model, because it's not a one size fits all. One person may be able to live on $2,000 a month, but another person needs 4, another person needs 10. And you may say, well, do they really need it or do they want it? No, well, if you have established a lifestyle where you're living on $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, let's face this, do you think it's easy for someone who was living on a $5,000 lifestyle to just adjust to $2,500? Folks, let me tell you, that's not easy. That is not easy. And what is happening, the scary part, this is what is happening in retirement. A lot of people are working, especially with government in government institutions, and they have a retirement plan which is good in itself, but a lot of these retirement plans, these people are retiring on 50-60% of their most recent last 3 years payroll. So how can someone adjust their lifestyle in such a short time? So these are some of the things why we're going to talk about the Roth IRA and so forth. So I tell you every week, the shortest hour or the fastest hour in the week is Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. I sit here and I get ready and I'm getting into it. I take a glance at the clock and oh my gosh, I gotta break and I gotta pay some bills. So stick and stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. Oh my gosh, we are in the second quarter already. Wow. So thank you again for joining us. The phone lines are still open, in the studio, 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. We're here to take your calls, your comments, your questions, any feedback that you can give us. We would appreciate it. Even shows that you'd like to hear, or topics that you're interested in and we have not covered. So any one of those feedbacks we welcome. You can call us, you can email us, you can go on the website, you can make such comment, and we appreciate. We've been getting some great feedback. I met with a friend of mine this week, and oh my gosh, he just blew me away. He shared with me how much him and his wife, they prepare the kids, get the kids ready for bed on Sunday, and they sit back and they just get ready for what they're gonna learn. So I just want to big up my friend out there. He knows who I'm talking, so I just celebrate him. He says he and his wife doesn't miss it. He doesn't miss it. And we have just gotten different feedback. We had even had callers, lady calling, and she's like, I wish this show was longer than an hour, so as we did the survey, and some people wanted a little bit longer, and some people said the time is just right. So as you do it, you never know. You never get an optimal time. You're not sure, is 1 hour enough? Should it be 90 minutes? Should it be 2 hours? But as we go along, we'll continue to evaluate it. So I just want to thank all of you that listening and tuning. And our goal is, if we can just make a difference in one family, and we know that we are impacting many families out there. So I thank you. I thank you for joining us. So before we get into is Roth IRA right for you, I just want to, so that you can put on the calendars, and so that next week, and yes, men, I'm reminding most of the men, I'm reminding you next week is Mother's Day. Men, I know sometimes we have a time to, we forget, we remember that it's Mother's Day the day before. Well, I'm telling you, 1 week ahead of time, next week, Sunday, is Mother's Day. Whether you all know, we all have some relationship with a mother, whether it's our mother, somebody else's mother. But the ladies in our lives, we can consider them, sometimes they may be younger than us, sometimes they may be older, but we can consider them as mothers. Some mothers, some female may have 3-4 children, some may have none, but they are all impacting children. And once you're impacting children and impacting lives, I look at a lady as a mother, because I was speaking with my daughter the other day, and she was sharing with me. We were talking about I know we're going down a little bit rabbit trail, but it's important to get this foundation. She was sharing with me, we're talking about children in school and getting ready for college, and the impact, and a home that has a mom and has a dad, and the topic get to where she was sharing with me that dad, as much as fathers are important, the education of that child, I forgot what percentage she gave me. She said the education of that child is driven by the mother. And I'm like, I was a little bit baffled, and I asked her, how so? And she shared with me that men a lot of times can even get a job that's a high paying job without education. She said it's very unusual for a female to get a job without higher education. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So with that being said, we're going to piggyback off that. And next week's show for Mother's Day, we have a special show lineup. Men, I know the show is not necessarily for you. You may think it's not for you, but if you have a woman in your life, whether it's your child, whether it's your mom, whether it's your wife, whether it's your girlfriend, it's important for you. Next week's show, May 14th, 2017, we're going to talk about investing basics for women. And you may like, wow, why is that important? Investing basics for women. Remember, I told you before, women are living longer than men. So what they are going to require is more than a man. So we're going to dive into that next week. May 14th, Mother's Day special show, Investing Basics for Women. And we're going to follow up the following week, May 21st, with women approaching retirement and beyond. Yes, women approaching retirement and beyond. Sometimes you may think, well, it's the same for women and men. No. And the next 2 shows we have lined up, you're gonna get some information. I'm gonna share some stuff with you that you're gonna like, wow, I never realized that. Yes. It's different for women in more ways than one. And we'll get into that. So I'm just prepping you so you can put it on the calendar and just make it a date and don't be late. We will get into that. So let's come back to our topic. Understanding your retirement distributions. So to make a decision regarding is a Roth IRA for you, there are some stuff you have to understand. You have to understand your retirement distribution. And you're like, oh my gosh, that word sounds so 50 cents are big. Your retirement distributions. Let's face it. Each and every one of us will have to make some retirement distributions. If you're alive, if you're dead, then you don't have any retirement distribution. But we're not talking to dead people tonight. We're talking to live people. So you will have to make some retirement distribution. And the truth of the matter is, whether you want to or not, you will have to make it. So here's the scary part. You may say to yourself, oh, I don't want to make any retirement distributions. Wow. If you're saying that to yourself, let me tell you right now, I don't know when your retirement is, whether it's 10, 20, 30 years. But if you are saying you don't want to understand your retirement distribution because you don't want to make your retirement distribution, let me tell you something right now. Somebody's going to make it for you. Somebody's going to make it for you. And folks, it has already started. It's already started. I am not gonna go political, but I'm telling you, some things going on in this country right now with the healthcare situation, whether to repeal or not repeal Obamacare or whatever. I'm not sure, we're not going into which side of the aisle you're on or not. That is not about that. But the fact is, in America, we are facing a healthcare crisis. Whether we repeal, whether we not repeal, there is a crisis either way. Either way, there is a crisis. So, how do we deal with a crisis? To deal with a crisis, you have to understand the crisis. Because if you don't understand the crisis, how are you going to deal with it? So you notice the conversation. The conversation is not going whether this is right or this is wrong or that is. We're not going with the right and wrong. We are going with the understanding the elephant that's in the room, and how are we going to eat that elephant? Are we going to eat that elephant one bite at a time, or are we going to try to run out of the room? And that's why it's important to understand your retirement distributions. So what are the things we need to understand? Remember, I already told you, get your pen. I'll give you quick 15 seconds more just in case you didn't get your pen. Get your pen, get your paper, because you're going to need to take some notes. So some of the four of the top concerns we need to have in understanding your retirement distributions is the number one. I've said this to you. I've beaten this to death. The number one consideration in your retirement is your tax implication. Yeah, it's a number one. It's in whether you want to accept it or not. It's the number one. I have told you over and over that tax in America is the number one impediment to your wealth, the number one impediment to your retirement, and it looks like tax is also gonna be the number one impediment to your health. So let's look at this then. So if tax is going to be your number one impediment to your health, your wealth, and your retirement, wow, we all have to deal with these three topics. So are we going to try to understand it, or are we going to put our head in the sand? Wow. So we're going to get, I am telling you, I don't know what's happening. I look at the clock again. And the second quarter just flew by. So stick and stay with us. We will be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. Wow, as we were getting ready to dive into, the clock just ran away. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying with us. The phone lines in the studio are still open. 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. And remember, you can reach me directly 24/7, 754-366 7311, 754-366 7311. You can also email us support@financialliteracy.info, support@financialliteracy.info. You can visit us on the web, financialliteracy.info, financialliteracy.info. We have a Facebook page, we have Twitter. You can go on there, you can make comments, you can like us. We'd appreciate that. So thank you very much. Thank you for staying. So as we were getting into understanding your retirement distributions, there are four main concerns that each of us face. We started out, the number one is tax implication. And what we covered before we break, the tax is gonna have implication on our health, our wealth. Yes, health, wealth, and retirement. That's it, tax. Number two, cash flow concerns. Because what happened is that we have to evaluate our cash flow in the sense that what is coming in versus what is going out. Because we all know, if what is going out is more than what's coming in, then that's the first problem we have. Because then there is more month or more week than the money. The money ran out. So cash flow is very important. Remember, most of these we're going to eye level. For each individual, we can help you design a plan or a budget, and for those are some of the services we offer to you, and they're complementary in that sense. Initially, where we can talk to you about helping you set that up, we can make recommendations to you, because there are many great software, there are many great tools that can help you do these things. One I mentioned to you before, one great software out there for personal managing of credit and so forth is Mint. I'll give them a plug. I don't have any shares in the company, but it's a free site, mint.com, MINT, mint.com. Very, very powerful site to help you manage your financing. The next concern, so we have spoken about tax implication and cash flow concerns. The next one is your personal It's your personal now. Remember, we're talking about personal economic model. Your personal impact from inflation. Yes, you have to factor inflation. If we are not factoring inflation, we're gonna have a problem. Because if we're measuring the money coming in and the money going out, and then if the money, this is not a static amount, because if 1,500, just use a number then. Just use a number. If 1,500 is coming in and 1,500 is going out, then we are at par. But here's the problem. You may be on par now, but that you're not gonna be on par for long, because if the money coming in is not increasing, if that money is static, then the money going out will be lessened by inflation. So you may say, so let me break that down a little. If inflation is 3%, that means the cost of things that we are purchasing is going to increase at a rate of 3%. And if that money you have coming in is static and it's not increasing, so what is happening? $1,500, if you take 3%, you're talking about $45. So that $1,500 buying power now, that $1,500 is gone. It's gone up to $1,545, while the income coming in is at $1,500. So now you thought you were at par, but you are now below par. And that is just year one. So if inflation is going up every year by 3%, wow, then look at it this way. So in 10 years, inflation would have gone up by 30%. So if we take that same 30% with that same $1,500 expense we had budgeted, that $1,500 times 30% is now $450. So the $1,500 expense is now $1,950. I just want to give you a little basic here. $1,950. That's what the cost is. The real cost is now $1,950. But if you had budgeted for $1,500 and $1,500 is coming in, and if the cost is $1,950, then your deficit after 10 years is now $450. Do you see what I'm talking about? That's $450 per month. Do you see what I'm talking about when people people gonna run out of money? If they don't make plans, they're gonna run out of money, because the money that you're getting, if that money is not increasing and it is static, your expenses are not static. Even if you think the dollar is static, the inflation is gonna eat into it. So I wanted to take that extra time to talk to you about the impact, the personal impact from inflation. Okay, the next one, creating your best choices with available dollars. Remember, I mentioned it's a personal economic model we're dealing with. Each of us don't have the same available dollars. Some has more, some has less. So your plan has to be customized with what you have. So I know a lot of times people go on the internet and they'll draw down something and they'll draw down an example. But that's just an example. It cannot work for everybody. Your plan has to be customized to your income. Because if we go back to that 1,500, where that 1,500 due to inflation has gone up to 1,950. If your income was $3,000, then that increase to 1,950 has lesser impact, because you still have excess cash flow of $1,050. So you see what I'm saying, whereas one person may have 1,500 coming in, another have 3,000 coming in. So the 1,950 in expense is not going to have the same effect as the person who has income coming in of 3,000 versus the person who has income coming of 1,500. And that's why I encourage you where you has to develop a personal economic model. Okay, so let me take a breather there so that you guys digest that. I want you to digest that before we go on, because we're going deeper dive now to explain to you. We're going to share 3 separate tactics with you. So I want you to just digest, just breathe in, breathe out, count to 10, breathe in, breathe out. The phone lines are still open, 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. If we have said anything that has confused you any little bit or whatever, give us a call. Let us clear this up right now, because if something is concerning you that wasn't clear to you, don't think you're the only one that it wasn't clear to. So you calling and asking that question, you may be helping others and not even realizing it. Okay? 954-792-1170. Okay, let's talk about the tactics then. How do we deal with retirement dollars? Okay, tactic number 1. Positioning. I'm going to read it, then I'm going to explain it, okay, so that you can write it. Take your pen, take your paper. We're going to write this now, because it's not something you want to force yourself to just remember. Write it. Positioning after-tax distributions as your first distribution option before your pension monies. Let me repeat that. Positioning after-tax distributions as your first distribution option before your pension monies. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? Okay, why? So let's deal with the why. Drawing from these funds usually has most favorable impact on your taxes. Like money that you have invested with your personal dollars. 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get long-term capital gains. Yes, long-term capital gains, which is 15 to 20%, and sometimes can even be 10% based on your income. Remember now, this is money that you have invested with after-tax dollars. Not to be confused with money that you have invested with pre-tax dollars. Money that you have put into the IRA, money that you have put in the 401k. All of those monies are pre-tax, and that money is going to come out as ordinary income. Very important that you understand the difference between capital gains versus ordinary income. And that's why I'm telling you, you're going to position yourself. Well, oh, great. I understand there's a caller on the line. So we're going to go to that caller and see if we can address something or clear up something out there now. Caller, you're on the line. Hello, caller? Hello? Yeah, we know that there was a caller.
Yeah.
Hello, caller?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. How are you doing?
I am excellent. Thank you for calling. How can we help
Very
you?
good. Well, I've been listening to you for the past few weeks, and I just want to let you know that your program is very educational.
Yes, sir.
Informative, especially with the Caribbean people, they need someone like you as to educate people in terms of where they're spending their money, their investment, their life savings and everything. You sell life and health insurance, sir?
Yes, we do. Okay. Yes, we do.
Okay. Let me ask you just a few questions, if you don't mind. What are the ups and the downs about insurance company? Is it good? Are they any good? Are they no good? Is it something that, we don't really need, but at the same time, it's very important in our lives because in everything that we do, we need insurance in general, car, health, homeowners insurance, and et cetera, et cetera. How can you lead me in terms of where health insurance is concerned, life insurance is concerned, especially for we have seen we are a change of the government that we are living in now, and people, most people are planning on migrating back home to Jamaica. But the key important thing that people are worried about is health care, especially in Jamaica. Can we get health care from here that can serve us? Let's just say someone goes to Jamaica, probably as a citizen.
Yes. Remember. And your first question. Let me address the first one. You mentioned about if insurance companies are good, and I'll stick my neck out and I will tell you, all insurance companies are good. All. And you may say that's a bold statement, but let me explain it. If we're in the state of Florida, let me tell you how insurance works. In the state of Florida, an insurance company will not, the state of Florida Department of Insurance will not admit an insurance company in Florida to do business if the State Department has not vetted that company. The State Department vet every company. But what happens, and the confusion, I know where the question may be coming from. What's the confusion out there is a lot of times people will go, someone in Florida will go and they will buy insurance online. Remember now, online is worldwide, nationwide. So that insurance company, you may see an insurance company online and you buy this insurance. You said you're buying this insurance. Wow, this insurance is cheap. It's $45. And you bought it online. But guess what you didn't do? You didn't check to see, wow, I'm living in Florida. Is this insurance covered or protected by the state of Florida? So online is good, but you have to do a little bit more vetting. But if you buy it within Florida, with a company that's in Florida, with an agent that's in Florida, you have covered a lot of things because the state has vetted it for you. So let me address that part. So it's never, to be honest with you, it's never about the insurance company. It's about, was that company, because not all companies are admitted by a state. You have insurance companies that cannot sell insurance in Florida.
Let me, I know time is probably be at hand. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Where probably you can help me much better. A lot of people don't understand about health insurance, and they may go to a hospital and they may be there and they're thinking that, okay, I'm at the hospital. I don't have any money. I don't have any insurance. So therefore, the hospital must see me. They must treat me. How does that work with someone doesn't have health care, don't have cash up front, compared to someone that have health care and that have health insurance?
That is such a great question. That is such a great question. And let me tell you what happened. When you go to the emergency room, whether you have health insurance or not, yes, here's one of the big misconceptions. Someone will go and they get treated. So they leave with a mindset that I don't need to have health insurance. But the rationale behind that, because of the medical code, no medical institution can refuse someone of emergency care. The key factor there is emergency care. So that hospital has to patch you up. Yes, let's use the word. They have to patch you up because of the medical code. But
what about someone that say, okay, they go to the hospital, they may be having chest pain. It's going to need major surgery, major treatment. You know, doctor probably may have to leave his home 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, this person doesn't have any money, no health insurance. I mean, I know that it's a life-saving situation. Because a lot of people don't understand, how health insurance, how these things work. So can you educate me and maybe a few listeners that's out there?
The answer that I'm going to give you first going to shock you. Most of the time, that person going to die. If they don't have any insurance, they're going to die. Let me tell you why. Because what happened, the hospital will treat you. But let's face it. You don't have any insurance. You go in, the hospital treat you, they patch you up. But if they have to perform a procedure that's going to cost $200,000. Wow. Put yourself in that hospital's position. Because here's the thing. Here's one of the misconceptions a lot of people are missing. When you go to a hospital, people think hospitals perform surgery. Hospitals don't perform surgery.
Doctors do.
There you go, my brother. Doctors perform surgery. The hospital is the sanitized, and it provides a sanitized environment and the equipment for the doctor to use. So if Dr. Brown says this surgery, says to the hospital, I need $150,000 to do this surgery, you don't have any insurance, then that hospital has to take that out of their budget. A lot of times those surgeries not going to happen.
My brother, let me say this. The community needs someone like you to start stepping in, helping a lot of people out there who people are educated, but they are not educated as where this is concerned. And we are seeing where we are having debates over healthcare.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand that they are required to have health insurance no matter where they're going in the world for them to get treatment at any hospital, civilized hospital, because doctors have to get treatment. And I'm just going to leave you on the program. And sorry I called in a little bit late, but
no, we are happy you called, because here's the thing. The questions that you have raised, just because you have raised it, you're not the only one with that question on your mind, my brother. So your question is helping a lot of people. So don't think you're because the show is to serve. The show is to serve. Yes, we had a predetermined topic and we're going through it, but we'll have more time to talk about that topic. But your question is a concern in the community. So don't apologize for calling no matter what time. But and let me address the other part you mentioned about the health insurance and when you travel outside of the country. This is also one of the most confusing topic, because if you have regular health insurance, regular under 65 insurance in Florida, say Florida, and you travel to Jamaica, that insurance does not cover you in Jamaica.
My God.
That insurance does not cover you in Jamaica. You're on your own. Let's talk about the seniors now. Let's talk about Medicare now. Let's talk about the power of Medicare now. Medicare has two types of insurance in Medicare. And in future, we're going to talk about this topic. But since you're on the line and you address this question, I'm going to address this to the seniors now, for those who are over 65. Medicare has a couple of options. You have original Medicare. You have, and I don't have the time to go deep dive into it. You have original Medicare, you have Medicare Advantage, and you have Medicare Supplement. Here's the thing. Original Medicare, that's straight from the government. Medicare Advantage, that's from private insurance. If the senior has those two insurance and that same senior goes to Jamaica, no treatment. No treatment, because that insurance doesn't cover. But if that senior had a Medicare Supplement plan, which foreign travel is included, that person goes to any country in the world and they'll be covered.
Let me ask you a quick question, because I know probably time is coming. let's just say someone is here and they may have their grandparents, their senior citizens, maybe a aunt, maybe a mother, somebody, and they don't want to put a lot of life insurance, but they want to cover certain expenses that, God forbid, in terms of there should be a passing away, that person funeral expenses can be covered. They don't want any major anything, but they just want to make sure that, God forbid, they can get something that can relieve them of that financial responsibility in terms of funeral, because sometimes they may want to take their loved ones back home to Jamaica, wherever it is, from to Bahamas, whatever it is. Do you have something that can fit that person needs?
Oh yes. Along with life insurance outside of the term and the cash value life insurance, there's also final expense insurance where we can help people with that, where they can have a final expense insurance for 10,000, 15,000, 20, 25,000, where that final expense insurance, it's less expensive than.
And what would be the age limit on that?
No, final expense even goes up to 75, 80 years old, my brother. Oh yes. Okay. Even an 80-year-old person could get a final expense insurance.
Okay. Well, I think, my brother, probably a lot of people don't maybe listen. Maybe you need to be a little more. But I appreciate you so very much for your education, and I've been listening to you over. I think probably from your start of the program, and I hope that you're going to stick around, especially with the people in the Caribbean that need someone that can help them in terms of education and fitting whatever they need in their insurance needs, health, and savings and everything, especially where people are getting older and not having that money to carry them, through for the rest of their life. And next week I'll call you, and I have some more questions that I would like to ask you, but we're going to leave that for next week. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for
calling. Thank you so much for calling. You have given me a few topics we need to talk about in the future. Health insurance, we need to talk about Medicare, we need to talk about insurance when for a foreigner, we're a person living in the US and they go travel to foreign. You have given us some great topics, so we'll follow up on that, and listeners, we'll educate you more on that. I want to thank you.
I think a lot of people will be very much interested, especially people that are living here, if you can bring that information, because a lot of people are citizens here. They want to go back home. They want to spend 6 months. They want to spend 8 months, but they are still worried about health care, back in Jamaica. God forbid someone may take sick.
And I sense you have some more comments. So what I would encourage you, if you go on our website, make those comments, financialliteracy.info, or email us support@financialliteracy.info, and we will address all those questions. Put them in an email to us. You can also call me directly, 754-366-7311, 754-366-7311. And the time, the clock on the wall, it says I gotta get out of here. Thank you, caller. Thank you, listeners. Thank you for listening. Hubert McIntosh, your CPA, signing out. We will be back next week. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
To maximize its return on investments, then contact Wealth Management and Distribution Group. Wealth Management and Distribution Group will help you.